Good morning, all, and let's have our meeting convene. Yeah, so welcome to the December 2nd, 2016's general meeting of the consortium. Okay. I'll order at 15 after 10 a.m. Okay. Moving down the agenda, we have a special guest today, and I'll let the gentleman introduce himself. Governor, please.
Oh, he's like, what
I'm throwing you in the spot. Come on now. You have to recognize guests.
Okay, my name is Godwin. My company name is GSC Technologies. I've been in business for 13 years now, and I think if I'm here to help, that's what I'm here for, just to mentor people that want to be in business.
You want to pass it on.
I want to pass it on.
Thank you very much.
And I want to do it with joy, actually.
Well, welcome you to being here. You'll get a chance to meet everyone and shake everyone's hands. Let's do a quick round since we're all still getting to know each other's faces here. So we'll start on my left.
Anybody knows Ivan? Vice President?
Mike.
My name is Alonso.
Vanessa. Angie.
With Godwin.
Good one.
Gloria.
I'm Peter. I'm the president of the group, and behind the camera is Bob Allen, of course. So say hi, Bob.
Behind the camera.
Very good.
Let's keep it that way.
Our next item on the agenda would have been our talking to Oscar, but he's not here yet. Is he planning to attend?
Oscar and Isabel are on the way.
They're underway. Okay, I'll table that to the to when they arrive. Okay. So we'll go to item number 6 on our agenda, the Interorganizational Council meeting report. And I'd like to bring it to the attention of all of you to think about what we may need. Now, as an example, the IOC is thinking of putting together their own t-shirts so that when people see our group, or the IOC, people can ask. So I would like them to do the same for us. So I'd like you guys, like us as a group to come to think about that. So in next semester, we will be able to get recognized a bit more instead of just keep meeting here in the dark. We are now official. We are now a member of the Associated Student Body Government, so let's make an effort to be recognized. And in their meeting, they discussed about mandatory, they were taking roll of the different groups. Only 10 of the 18 clubs that are in campus here attended. And there is in their bylaws about only 3 or 4 absences, and then you are on probation and later on excused from ASG. So I don't want to push it on this group here. I'd like to think that you are serious to want to be here, so we'll pass it on. Make sure, as Ivan has made it very, very clear, he loves communication. He loves to hear that you're going to attend or not. But it's really, really important. They consider that too. Now, in their rules of parliamentary procedures, they have to have a quorum, 5 people or more, or they cancel a meeting. And they did that my very first time I attended. They canceled the meeting because there was less than 5 that showed up, because they can't have a quorum, they can't vote, and there's not enough representation of the organizations within the club. That's how serious they are about it. I don't know if we need to go that far at that time, but just be aware that that's what they ask for, that kind of commitment. This is your club, and as they were saying to us, this is our club, and this is our effort to make the student experience better. So that was that subject. Now, we spoke on this 2 weeks ago, so I'm going to bring it to everyone else. The officers that we were talking about participating in the school's social functions. And there were several of them. One was Martin Luther King's Day, Earth Day, Women's Day, Cinco de Mayo, and the Asian Pacific Day. And Cinco de Mayo being near the end of the year, it was thought it might be a good idea for us to help manage that. Now, they gave us a budget of $1,500, but if we need more, we can ask for it. Sociology Club, point 3 there is also, we're planning to team up. It's because we're new, we don't know what we're doing. Not yet, anyway, but we'd like to make a showing. It's a good way for us to get a little publicity. But I realize that it's basically at the end of the semester, it's in May. But I don't want to push us too hard, because the first one is Martin Luther King Day. That'd be too much for us. We're too new, and we're still finding our way still. So this will be okay, but just want to let you know that we'll be asking for anyone that wants to chair that committee in the NATO part of the discussion. We'll be asking for anyone who wants to chair that. Okay, for those of you who were here at the last meeting, this was the form for asking for funds. Now, it was decided, and I did not know this, because I asked the question, is this a grant, this is a gift, or is this a loan? It is a gift. Now, this is almost 5 pages long, so I'm on the subcommittee to make this a one-page request. And so, just to let you know that we're gonna work on that a little bit and make it a little easier for us to do those, make suggestions for it. And when you read in the agenda, I do have one I'd like to ask. I think it'd be a good idea, it might be something for a bit of a team building experience. So we'll talk about that, and that's why I bring this up, but they wanted to review that and redo this. And very soon for spring of 2017, not 16, I apologize for the error on the agenda. Mike here will be, on my left here, will be assuming the duties of the IOC representative, because, I believe by this afternoon, the Condor Media Group will be approved. You met Robert Adami from the last meeting, and we'll be a full-on group, and I'll be the IOC rep for that group. And I'll take that position there, and Mike will be the IOC rep for the consortium as well. And the next meeting is scheduled for next Tuesday. Alrighty. So moving on to the number 7th on the agenda. Any questions so far on the IOC meeting that you wanted to go over? So far, so good?
Did you bring your sketch?
Yeah.
Okay. I would like to have Alonso take a second to go ahead and show us. Most of us already seen it from our class with him, but he sketched up a prototype for now that we can go ahead and.
Can we move that down to the,
Yeah.
okay, let's move it down a little bit further. But you're on board though.
Pull
You're
it
on
out
deck.
if you have it.
Okay, so I wanted to bring, so now we're at committee status reports. So the first one, I wanted to talk about the Cinco de Mayo event. Anyone want to take a gander chairing that event? You're the boss. You're chairing, in the volunteer world, it's chair, co-chair, but in this case, this is a committee, and you would be the chair of that committee if you are the Cinco de Mayo chair. I refer to you, you'd be the sole voice of what goes on towards the success and operations, questions, and any concerns you bring up to the members here, and let us know in status what is going on. So that's the position. And then anyone else that joins under that, that'd be fine.
What else does it require? Like, would you have to be going to meetings and stuff like that?
No, you set it up yourself, and then you bring us the reports when we have our general meeting.
What is the Cinco de Mayo
Really
event? Yeah.
The details, they have a celebration here on campus, so you can set up a little entertainment, you can set up disco, or not disco, excuse me, a DJ, a service or food to be offered, dancers that represent.
You actually set up a little booth that basically promotes the club.
Absolutely, as well as
yeah.
let people know who is putting
Yeah.
this together. And so this is an opportunity for the group, as well as, this is not just for us. Sociology is planning to team up with us. And so they contracted with a restaurant outside of here to bring the different foods of Mexico in. Now obviously you're connected to that, that's up to you. And then I was wondering why they didn't ask the culinary club, but I was really surprised. But hey, it's up to us. We'll be given the money for it, and we decide how we want to make it work, and go from there. Make it as festive as possible so the students here can enjoy that holiday, and we can have prizes and things. It's all up to you. So, or I'm looking at you only because you know you're itching for something to do.
He's recruiting you.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I've got, he's got a lot too, and Mike is going to be put on, so I know you want to get involved.
Can I give you the for sure answer on Tuesday?
Sure, we can talk about it.
Okay.
But I will table this for now. Just want to throw it out there for all. We have up through May, but I want to settle it in by January because
Okay.
we as a group, I'll be on the committee on it as well, but I'm not going to take a lead position and I have another one. So
I
just,
would help out on the committee too, so.
okay, so you've got two.
Yeah. Okay.
You got two?
Wake up, Lauren, are you with us? Yeah, okay, all right.
You got three.
See, not bad. There you go. I look at you, Godwin, but you just got here. We'll just wait. We'll give you another couple of meetings, and then we'll go after you.
That's all right.
All right.
I'm sure all of us will help, but.
Yes. This is pretty much an all hands on deck kind of an activity because it is about our group.
I'm very intrigued by it. I just want to be sure that I'll do it. You know?
Start putting it together because
Yeah.
when you, again, this is where that form will come in handy.
Mhm.
How much money will you need to get whatever you're planning to put together?
Okay.
The booths will be there. Food is a cost, and you have to have that in there. If you're going to have an outside vendor come in, There's another floor for that. We have to bring in that other outside vendor to bring in. Where's Oscar? I wanted to say if you wanted to bring in
Sure.
Mr. and Mrs. Choros, that would be a great opportunity. But they have to come in. We have to bring in no front. See, there's the politics and the bureaucracy of it.
I was just gonna say, can we get more clarification, because it's still kind of vague in the sense of, you know, we know this is it's something that the campus has done for a while, so we're not the person who's popped the cherry per se. Do we have guidelines? What's the expectations? What did they do last year? What went right? What went wrong? What are the lateral limits of what we can bring in, or what?
Yeah, how big is it?
More details, because I mean, just saying, hey, you want it. Yeah,
Very
you're
good.
like,
No,
what-
that's
what-
a very
kinda, you know what I
good
mean?
question. All right.
So,
I will get that
and I'm more
answer for you.
detail. I don't know if you pick up, or I'm more, you give me more detail.
Oh, no, that's worthwhile because.
You have
we're
5 months to get all those details straightened out.
But I just wanted to at least get the personnel started, and
Right
then
on.
we'll work on that part. So thank you for volunteering. Alex, way to go.
Good boy, Alex.
All right, guys. But thank you for the input on that. It's very important. Because, yeah, I may be overstepping all the different things I just listed, and I don't know what else might be up
And
their
then you said
sleeves.
that they will give us funds, or we have to apply for funds?
We have to apply for it, but they will give us the monies they need, as long as we can.
Because I think that would be important to know, like last year, okay, whatever club did the Cinco de Mayo thing, how much money was funded to them and what did they use it for? Was it mariachi? Was it for Florida dancers, decorations, that type of, that
All
type
those
of
things.
intel would be good things to
Yeah,
have.
I'll get that. Those are very strong questions. And Gabby, for our last meeting, for those of you who weren't attended from the last meeting, Gabby Rodriguez, who's the ASG specialist here, basically the rep who speaks on behalf of management, she spoke to us about being asking us to participate. And so we will ask her again, and maybe she can enlighten us on our next meeting. I may bring it up and have her to do that again. Okay. So we'll table that for the next meeting, but yes, thank you, Alex, for chairing this effort, and we'll get the extra questions for you answered. Next one down is the Education Committee, and believe it or not, I was surprised, Mike decided, asked me to be part of that, so he and I will be part of that, because education and scholarships and monies and all that sort of thing, and a program, an actual certificate of achievement for an entrepreneur would be nice to be part of, and so I wanted to get involved with that and see what we can do to get be involved. Something maybe, Godwin, you might be interested to go into, because it is an area that most schools don't really pay enough attention. They have the academic side, but they don't always apply an actual practical. And you want to be able to provide that expertise to it, instead of finding out the hard way, like a lot of entrepreneurs do. They go through a huge learning curve. So I just want to let you know that Mike and I will be, there's no bleed on this one. It's just he and I will just equally share the responsibilities, Mike and I. So thank you, Michael. Okay. So any questions you have or interests, please bring it to either he or I in the very near future regarding the education. Perhaps your course loads that you're all taking, you might want to take an interest in it, and what would that require? Anything outside of the program or curriculum? Or, since it hasn't been established yet, I'd like to make sure that what is offered on campus here can be used, and all you have to do is just combine them. Okay, Mr. Big Guy, here now it's your turn. Ready? This is about your farm to table. Give us an update, because you have had a lot of activity over the last couple of weeks. So please give everyone a rundown. And I wrote down what was kind of covered recently, like we had a logo discussion, how the money handled, and I'll give it to you. All right, Ivan? And it's also on the second page.
Basically, just not to get too much into the details, on the table is it's moving along. I think one of the things that I made clear to the group that we had, and I think a few of you might have been here for that. Some of you might have, if you were here, you probably forgot because it's been a while. But I told you, as a matter of fact, I was here in this room at the beginning of the semester, give or take. I know Angie and Alice, you guys were here, and Mike and myself. I think everybody else was not there. You might have been here as well. But anyhow, point is, one of the things that hopefully, well, then not hopefully, but that I know that we're walking away with right now. We're not walking away, but that we're walking with and learning are the aches and pains and the struggles of the barriers that you don't foresee. And God, right? The struggles and pains that you go through to try to get something off the ground. If you have people involved, which in this case we do, the other team members, sometimes you're not always on the same sheet of music, and you have to get in tune with each other and come to an agreement and make sure that everything is smoother as you move along and you progress and not regress. I know if I remember correctly from your speech, Doug, when you mentioned that you had owned 4 businesses, I believe, and 3 failed, and you kept going. You kept going.
That's right.
So that go-getter attitude, that never quit, never, just keep battling until you achieve success. I think that's one of the biggest things thus far that I've taken away from this Farm to Table. Not to quit, not to give up, and believe me, folks, it's we all have lives outside of this. I don't make my money from this. I have other things I got to attend to. I got children, like some of you here. But it's the experience is what I'm getting at, is my message. The experience that you are going to learn if you decide to jump on board, or if we hit you up, and not just for Farm to Table, but any other projects that come down the road, I think is the experience that's going to help. And the only thing I can say real quick is the initial struggles. And again, we're talking about something small. We're not talking something huge. I know some of you guys might have bigger, brighter ideas that you're going to look for. But one thing I will tell you is that don't expect a rosy, peachy, smooth road to success, because it's not going to happen. Even if you were fed via money or support in other ways that you can make it happen, you're still going to have some rough times and some turbulence along the flight. So just be ready for that, and just keep your attitude in the sense of being patient, communication. There's a list of things I can go on and on about what will be the recipe to success, or to help you along the way. But I think at the end of the day, think teamwork. Use your assets, the folks that are around you, to the left, to the right. In this case, we got Godwin, who, from his speech from when he gave a few weeks ago, he signed up to come on board. A great example of folks like himself and myself, or my family, that came from other countries to pursue something here in the United States. The American dream, if you will, the cachet there of the American dream. It can happen. You just got to wire yourself tight and get good people around you to support you and push you along the way, not kick you when you're down, because there will be some of those. You just got to stay the path, stay the course, be focused, demotivated, and just keep pushing. So far, Farm to Table is making some progress. We hope that in the next weeks, months, we pick up some steam, more steam, and get it going more from what we would like to see. So it's still a work in progress, but it's good. It's good work. It's good progress. Sometimes we don't get what we want, and I think we already know that. So it might not be going as fast as I would like to personally, but it's still going forward. It's not going back. So that's a good thing. I think we have good folks around us that we can come to an agreement and tweak it, because everything you have to tweak it, just like your car. You have to do tune-ups, just like ourselves. We go to the doctor, we get checked out because we feel a little sick or whatever. Same thing, same concept. So overall, I just hope that you stay committed. That's what I'll finish it off with. Stay committed. I think I said that when I first introduced myself to you guys at the beginning of the semester, those of you that were here. You have to have commitment. Because if you don't commit, you're not going to succeed. Simple as that. It's a commitment. And then lastly, I'll shut up by saying this. There's a few of us here that are a little bit older than most of you guys. And one thing I will pass on to you, and you'll probably hear me say this a couple more times, is that take a step back and look at the bigger picture. And what I mean by that is, look at what's ahead in your life, the next 5, 10 years from now. Don't just picture, don't be micro, go macro. Look at the bigger picture. What do you need to do to succeed to get to where you want to be at, wherever that might be? Remember the small little things that we try to push or hit you up with, like communication. I know I'm going to put myself on blast. I showed up late, I was running a little late, but for the most part, I'm usually here on time. When I go to class, I usually show up on time. I don't like being late. Why? Because you got to treat it like it's your job. If the boss is talking, if this is a paying job, a company, and Peter's the boss, I would be the ass clown if I came in late and interrupted his meeting, and that's not professional. So you just got to keep all those things in mind. I know we're young, but those are things, food for thought for you to marinate and let it sit there. So anyways, besides that, food for table, we're moving forward, and we hope that we kick off the next one as well in the near future with Mike and Factory to Pantry. So
I wanted to ask, you mentioned you had a strategy for additional products that you wanted to add to the product line on the website. What was your strategy for that? Did you think something out?
I haven't really thought of a complete strategy, we're gonna talk about that after the
Okay,
meeting.
all right, okay. Because Shopify, which was part of what Bob and Oscar put together, I saw an initial setup of the account. And the Shopify works by asking you questions, and then you have to enter those answers in as you go along with it. And that looks pretty nice. So I asked that because for those of you who don't know about the Farm to Table 805 website, there are only 9 items on there. And a lot of them, they break down, a couple are more like specialty on hors d'oeuvres such as artichokes, and then another couple are vegetables, fruits for desserts, and raspberries and blueberries. But I was thinking out loud, I'll give you one simple one. What are the top 3 salads in a restaurant? You wanna give it? That's 1.
Garden.
Okay, 2.
Chicken salad?
No, that's you. Yeah, chef salad's the number 3. And so if you think of what goes into those items in there, the garden salad is actually quite easy. So if you started with the garden salad, you have iceberg lettuce, you have carrots shredded, and you have tomatoes, depending on the type you want to add in there. And so we can add 3 items right away. And that would be something that'd be ordered more consistently, because salads are in pretty much everybody's dinner. And so it's just something as a strategy, look at salads before we look at vegetable entrees, but that's what I was going to suggest. And so we have that in there, so that'll be added to, because the items on the product list was kind of short. And to be able to build up a better sales, because you want to get a better sales, we have a very captive audience. So we're going to start expanding the list of products offered. So we're not losing money at the same time. So I think it's a good move forward, and moving at a good pace. So that should satisfy your drive on that one.
Well, one of the other things on that whole thing is that Joe Caruso from the Culinary is going to start doing video presentations of cooking those vegetables that could be used to promote the services.
As a uniqueness to, let's say, a regular, let's say, Vaughn's or Ralph's, even that Trader Joe's, they offer a lot of vegetables and products on it, but they don't actually help you what to do with it. So I thought from the Culinary Club, an idea of, with Joe, Bob, he's been working on this for quite a while, and finally came to the idea of bringing those 2 entities together and have a little cooking show. And so we will also have that on the website as time goes on, and as well as your infomercial. The principles of Farm to Table will be part of that. So we'll have that in developing in the next week or 2. So those are developments. It's a lot of things happening in a business. We want to but we have a captured audience. We're very fortunate to do that. So we'll get another update again in the next meeting, and so we'll move on. We're not doing anything with factory to pantry yet, right? Okay, so I'll just keep that up there anyway.
After that, no, they will run it.
Regarding next semester's meeting times, Friday it tends to be a very difficult day. We're all finding out. I happen to be available again on those Fridays, but Tuesdays and Thursdays I've cleared my schedule to study or film. So if any of you have suggestions for that day, if you want afternoon, I know Robert Cabral, you were thinking about an afternoon program, so we are open to it. So please consider that. I bring this up all the time, but we're not pushing it hard enough. No one's asking, so I'm still scheduling everything on Friday. So we'll just go about that. But the voices are heard, so we can get a better participation of numbers and members. Please think about it. I'm available for Tuesday and Thursday, and that would be very helpful for us as a group. So please consider that in your thinking for next meeting. Okay. And under the new topics, we're moving to the final one here. Team dinner. How about getting together here, folks? We work very hard. We're still getting to know each other. I barely know who you are, Vanessa, so let's get to know you a little bit more. And the Culinary Club actually has a restaurant, not the cafe where everyone goes for lunch, but they have a dinner service. They have Thursday nights particularly. They go through a fine dining course, and it's a multi-course dinner. It's about $30, and so if we're in the mood to do that, within the 2nd or 3rd Thursday of January, when everyone's returned back to school, I would like to have it paid by ASG, so if that's something you all would like, but then we need a head count, and I know Gunny's good at getting that, so let's consider that, and I'll get the paperwork started. The reason why I'm asking now, I asked ASG when I was at the OCEC meeting, it's about a 30-day turnaround from request to voting, funding at quickest. So we have to, I will get the process going before we get, before the end of the semester, so that hopefully by the first voting session, which is on the 10th, I believe, is the next meeting they have at IOC, we can get funded, and within a few days, a couple weeks after that, we can have dinner on them. Because it's a good way to get to know each other, break away from school a little bit and the pressures of class. And since the semester just started, everything's easy, and everything's all wonderful and bed and roses and all that wonderful things. So I'd like to, I'll consider it. Now, if they can only find that's a little bit of it, then of course whatever the additionals from you guys, I hope it's not too much, because I can't afford a whole lot either. So I'd like to be able to enjoy and watch the students serve us, as opposed to having someone getting paid for it on the side there. So by going to an actually big restaurant, why not try to keep it in-house? That's my idea as well. Because the multi-course dinner that they offer in another restaurant would cost us easily almost 3 times the amount. And they do offer wine. So for those who want to partake in the spirits of the evening, we are encouraged to. Now we can also vote at the same time when we want, if we're going to do this, do we include our guests and spouses in this activity, or do you pay for it? There's a question. Should only we as members be taken care of from the cost of this adventure, or can, depending on the budget, because you're looking at almost $30 per person. 10 people already goes right up into $300. So asking the IOC committee, can we fund us for even 10 people at $300? You'd have to have a very good argument for it. So you might want to think about it. We'll address this again next meeting, and I'm serious. I will follow this up, because paperwork needs to be filed, and reservations need to be made, and then money needs to be funded. So give it some thought, because I'd like to bring us together. Because a lot of times we run into at lunch and it's very brief, and then we start we start talking shop, which is great. However, then we all got to go. We all have places to go. This would be a more relaxing format, and a chance to get to know each other a little bit more. So. And we worked hard to get this. For those of you who are at the very, very beginning, oh my gosh, what we went through. And it was embarrassing on some places, and then of course now it's elevating. So I'd like to think that would be something to start, because the kickoff of teamwork, I tend to take it on that level. So please give it some fun. And anyone who want to question it or any?
I think it's a good idea.
You like the idea?
The logo?
Oh, yeah, bring that up. I apologize for that. Okay, we'll go backward on one of the items. We'll go back to farm to table.
Well, actually, this was not for the club.
Wait, is it?
Just the club.
It's the clip? Oh, very good.
One moment.
Pass around or?
Pass around. You make the presentation. This is yours. The table, the floor is yours.
Maybe explain what it has.
You can pass it on.
Thanks for looking for that.
Alright, so this is the rough rendering on what the logo could be for the club.
Oh.
Alright, so the concept I took, or the ideas that I had in mind was to include the clock tower, because I know that's
That's an icon. It's a major icon
to
to
the
the
school.
school. Very good.
So I chose the clock tower on top. As you can see, it's like an arrow pointing towards up.
Mhm.
So like a road to success. So I,
Nice.
you know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
So that's one idea. And I chose like a crest, so they can have like a symbol,
Mm-hmm.
and it could be like you can add it to shirts. It's nice and small. I chose a big E in the middle to represent entrepreneurship, and then with the condor feather making the E, which our school is that's the mascot, the condor. And I added the condor in the bottom, holding up the sign,
Mm-hmm.
helping us fly and reach the sky, And then I drew the OCEC on the top, which is Oxnard College Entrepreneurship Club.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically the main ingredients of the logo.
Is that a new one or an older one?
Yeah, I just made it.
Oh, you just made an old.
This is the one with the condor open wing, where this one looks it's more cut off a little bit, right?
Yeah.
But it's the same concept. I don't know if you can see this very well, Robert, but we'll try to scan it over for you, okay?
Like I said, this is a rough rendering. Once we implement into Photoshop, the details will become more present. So,
Have you selected colors for it as well?
not yet. I wanted to talk about the color scheme in the group, so we can have our suggestions to what colors to implement in the logo. So,
That's why we're all here, folks.
any suggestions?
Please.
The feather could be like a tan.
A good time.
Yeah,
Like who?
a tan color, like
Oh,
a
tan.
really light brown. Well, peach. No,
Make
not
notes there.
peach. Off-white.
Time. Anything else?
I'll just put some
Yeah,
color.
like I said.
Well, I was just gonna look at because the way I don't have to ask for the thing.
One note that I was gonna, just to make sure we're on the same sheet here. OCEC, are we doing Oxnard College Entrepreneurship Club, or are we officially the Oxnard College Entrepreneur Consortium?
Well, the consortium part was, that was me. I can't stand the word club personally. That's my hang up.
So-
That's
so-
me.
So we're a club though, okay, nice, like ASG?
Yes.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah, but really, if you could use the word consortium instead of club, it elevates to other people, okay?
Well, I
Let
mean,
me
see,
let me
still-
ask our guest for a moment. When you hear the word club,
Still-
what do you think about? What does that mean to you? What is the?
I think your consortium is more on the high, place the club on the high caliber.
Mhm.
Club is just too generalized, everybody has clubs,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It puts you on the more academic, a group of people that know what they're doing. So I will use the word consortium.
Okay, thank you. All
That's,
right, you heard it from here, folks. Not my own prejudice here. This is because that was the reason I didn't like it. Because a lot of clubs are amateur. They're hobbies. They're social. We do a lot of that here, but we're solid and we're serious about our business.
Would you want us to, instead of have it being abbreviated, like write it out?
If you could forward that, do that. That'd be great. That'd be
yeah,
preferred.
that way they don't have to be asking, what is that?
Well, what you can do is use the first letters bigger than the rest of them.
What do you think?
So if you have an O and then the Oxnard a little smaller, you might be able to do it that way.
Oh,
The idea looks very good.
What about the rest of the colors, what do we think, besides the?
Well, there's a royal blue and I believe it's what's the greenish color?
College
But,
colors.
I mean,
yes.
Was it turquoise?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh.
We could, but I mean, do we want to, this is gonna look, I mean, do we wanna use other colors to make it separate them, just, cause it's gonna look kinda like the Oxnard College
Yeah.
logo, or it can be confused.
Wait, what?
Understood.
The
So-
E, if you're gonna use like a tan color, maybe like blue, like.
Or maybe, how about an
Yeah.
navy blue? That way it's not so bright.
I don't know what
And the
tone
banner?
of blue,
The banner on the top, can it be like this type of banner or something? The banner on the top.
Well, if we are gonna get dark shirts, we're gonna have to kind of watch what we do on the background.
Make it
color.
stand out a little bit more.
Like an outline?
Silver and gold is one of the best colors to have something slap at you. Contrast
Silver?
side.
As long
Boom.
as as long as it doesn't look like the logo they have on the soccer uniforms.
I don't want that.
Yeah, that one's too.
Maybe we could have, like a set of rendered logos, and we could use those, and then depending on
Well, you can
what-
use the seal on one side of it and the condor on the side. That's up to you, but the rest of this is, I wouldn't change a thing. You can make this, I'd like to see this either in a gold or silver, and then you have the actual name printed in the darker letters as a contrast. And
Are you gonna change the font on the letters, or do we?
Yeah, it could be changed, as long as, once we insert this into Photoshop, it can be changed.
Who's the guy that?
Robert, yeah. Robert.
oh, really? Okay, I thought it was yours.
Oh,
Thank
no.
you for bringing it in.
Oh, it's his, but
No,
he's gonna.
Oh.
Make sure you get your credit on.
I sorry, I apologize. Okay.
Once we, put this into Photoshop, yeah, hopefully.
How much time do you need to turn around?
I need to speak with Robert and see if we can work together.
Do you think by the next meeting you'll?
Next week?
It's 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Just kidding.
Probably like week and a half.
Yeah.
It all depends on when we can, I can meet with Robert and.
Oh, okay.
I think if you start playing with the colors, once you put it in Photoshop and then kind of obviously you've done this before, you know, and put out the best, top 3, whatever you like, the thing came out pretty good, and then just bring those next time to photo and be like, hey, choose.
Are we gonna have actually different ones for different color shirts or whatever we decide to do?
Okay.
Yeah.
And we need to push it a little bit, because they're asking a logo for the IOC, so that's why I thought this is good.
Yep.
We might use it, so I'll just ask, we might want, we'll stand back a little bit after everybody departs, we'll put some quick colors together, and then I'll submit it in.
And can we have it embroidered, like all our stuff, or would it have to be screen printed?
No, it all depends on the budget we ask for the shirts we get to and that, and so Bob and I have been really talking about something like that, so we'll have it looked at.
Well, if we happen to have it ready by the next meeting, I'm gonna go to Mexico, and I have a friend that did our logo for a really low cost. I can ask him, maybe he can also do it, so we have the actual
Physical.
file that they require to do the,
Oh, the word.
And it's really nice work what they did,
Mm-hmm.
you know. Because we asked around here.
it was like $85 just to do, once you have the logo, just to have it on the file that they need to.
Plus all the cost of the shirts, and it's really expensive.
That's here in the US.
To be embroidered at least.
Yeah, I'll be taking it to.
I don't have,
to Mexico
personally,
so they
I'd
can
like to
do
do
the file.
that.
But
That
that
shows
price
quality.
was for here, right?
Yeah.
Quality is, you want to definitely be a quality organization. We were thinking that, they were thinking of the IOC having their own T-shirts or something of sort, and that was the first thing out of Joe Caruso and I. We don't want something that will just, after 1 or 2 washings, I think the ink fades. That's a freaking insult, just to save a buck. You want something to stand out, and you want something to represent as well, so,
Yeah,
okay,
but
give us
picture
more.
my shirts, like, so they can see the embroidery quality.
Mhm.
It's really good. I like how it turned out.
Yeah, all right, I'll take your word for
And
it.
it was just a sample. 'cause I wanted
We
to
can
see.
bring it.
Yeah.
And
Does,
not-
do you know what color the shirt's gonna be?
For this group here, no, we have to decide that. So we still have a few more things to talk
Orange.
about on that area.
Orange.
Wow. Mike's skin color, are you kidding me, really?
The actual color.
Might I just make
We'll recognize, Bob, hold on,
A little
please.
more detail, he's like,
Okay.
just one comment?
No,
The
it's just
same,
the color, so.
Okay. Yeah, I can make it more,
This-
more realistic.
the same thing that we did last month when Godwin was doing his presentation. At 11 o'clock today, the Omega Group is doing another one in 101, where I think it might be worthwhile, if for those who can attend, it's the same type of thing of what they did. So I just wanted to let you know from the timings next week.
Okay. Okay, so we have to wrap up our meeting, and we covered pretty much everything. So we will table the logo for a little bit further. I need to talk to you a bit after, because they need something sooner than later, so we'll do that. But think about colors for us to represent. So we have to look at color shirts. And what type? Now remember, in the month of January, though it's spring, remember we're gonna have a few 3 months at least cold.
Long sleeve polos.
Something like that, yeah, you might wanna think of something of that
Why
sort.
wouldn't you get
Think-
sweatshirts?
What's that?
Sweatshirts.
That's all fine.
A long sleeve polo would be cool.
Yeah, polos look nice.
Because Culinary Club, for example, this is one of them, they had to give you the option of a pullover hoodie or a zipper. That was pretty nice of them to consider that. But this is not, as you can tell, it's faded already, and I picked this up last semester, so it's already faded, so let's think of something that, and it's worth the cost of it. All they have to do is just present it again on that form, so that the school will finance us, because they have a good influx of cash, and we as groups should be recognized.
And I'm waiting for Gabby to give me the information on how all is that handled, because I talked to another lady that is covering her, and she said that she doesn't have all the information, but they hold the money until we need it.
Okay, so there.
So I'm waiting for Gabby to give me the specific details, and I'll get that to you.
Okay. Now, okay, so yeah, you were on the minute. Thank you for answering that question, because we'll address this again in the next meeting, how the money will be handled. Whether it be in our account as the entrepreneurial consortium, or they hold on to the account, and then when we need it, they just write us a check or something like that, okay.
I think that's how it's gonna be, but I don't.
Yes.
I'll confirm.
Okay, very good, thank you. Well, very good. Any other thing we can bring up on the floor before we close up for the afternoon?
Cool. Oh, You wanna go first? Well, I was just, remember how about the Cinco de Mayo, how you were gonna ask Oscar and Isabel?
Well,
About
no, I was gonna bring it up for the next meeting,
Oh.
regarding how it's gonna be run,
No, no, no,
specifics.
but, bringing Mr.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Oh,
You were here last Friday when we talked about taking the consortium to the handle Cinco de Mayo. We were thinking about asking your group, your company, Mr. and Mrs. Churros, to be part of that. Since, depending on how Alex is our chair for this committee, how he wants to handle that, but why not have your efforts being recognized? And so start thinking of I think they're asking for like 300 people. So think of the kind of desserts program that you want to offer. Keep it limited, because the more options you get, the more crazy you get. So give us a bit of some sort if you like, because that form that we're gonna go through that, it's gonna be a little more complicated, because now you're a business coming on board on property, and let's see what they ask of you for that.
Yeah, it would be nice if you can find out what are the details that they require, how much on the liability insurance.
You know they're gonna ask that, so you might as well just get ahead of it, and it's a good part, it's a next phase of your business anyway, so you might as well just get a jump on it. It's in May, and it'll probably require about 2 months ahead of time, but the sooner we get this taken care of, the better.
Yeah, we're gonna have an event in June, and they require a minimum 2 million.
Oh, that's right.
So we'll be fine with that, but it's all about just how much they require. I think it should be fine, but
That's really the normal requirement for most businesses, because when I go pick up products from customers' location, they ask for liability insurance. You know, I pay for 1 year, I just fax it to them.
Okay, if it's just something,
Yeah.
you can get a
It-
policy for a couple days kind of
Yeah.
thing? Okay.
And sometimes I do event for school district local,
Mhm.
like I did one 2 months ago for Newberry Park High School.
Okay.
You know, they ask for liability insurance, you just fax it to them, you done. So the 2 million is cap. When you start going over there, but 2 million, everybody accepts it.
Okay.
And
Alright
I
then.
don't know who you have, who is using for your insurance. If you
We were
have,
thinking about our, like, they said like our, insurance that we have, car insurance and stuff.
no, it's business liability insurance. We talked later, I have a friend right here in Oxnard.
Okay.
That's what he does, he does business, insurance, no, he's local right here, so he will give you the best quality for less cost.
All right, thank you very much, folks. We gotta wrap it up, because ASG is coming in here in 5 minutes, so we gotta get our